Over the past 18 years, I've tested 100 different methods to get agency clients, whether it be cold outreach, paid ads, networking events, referral strategies, social media campaigns, affiliates, JVs, content marketing. If you can think of it, I've probably tried it. And after experimenting with all these different client acquisition strategies myself, as well as analysing the results from other successful agency owners in our program, I was able to narrow the list down to the most effective 7 strategies, which I'm going to reveal in this video. Now, all you have to do is watch this video to skip years of trial and error and see what actually works. So make sure you watch the entire video to learn how and why these strategies deliver results so you can apply them to your agency right away. The first and most common strategy out there is obviously cold outreach because it's the cheapest and the most simple. Mass outreach used to be the go-to strategy for agencies because it was easier back then. More messages equaled more calls booked every single time. But now, as you know, cold email policies are stricter, everyone is spamming the same generic messages and emails, and it simply is not as effective overall. But some agencies are still absolutely crushing it with cold outreach. So what's their secret? Well, it's all about the targeting. Most people get this completely wrong. It's not only about more emails, it's about smarter emails. We're talking laser focused targeting, personalization that goes beyond just slapping a name at the top of the email, and the email copy has to actually resonate with your potential clients. If you combine this level of targeting with volume, you will have success with cold email. So in terms of practicality, setting up cold email, here's what you need to do. First, you'll need multiple domains, which I recommend purchasing through Pork Bun or Hover or One-on-One. Next, you'll need to set up Microsoft Business Suite with Outlook for each of these domains, creating individual inboxes for each one. Then connect all these inboxes to Smart Lead or Instant Lead, which is your sending tool. And for the leads themselves, you can use Apollo.io. The key to successful mass outreach is managing your sending limits properly. I recommend capping each inbox at about 20 emails per day. This means if you're aiming to send thousands or tens of thousands of emails, you'll need to calculate backwards to determine exactly how many inboxes you need to set up. Now, before you start doubting if this will work, but my industry is different, and my target clients are too busy, and I've tried everything already, trust me, I've heard it all. And I'm here to tell you that these excuses are just that. They're excuses. This still works if you know what you're doing. In Agency Mavericks, we have clients killing it with cold email simply because they know the updated strategies that work in 2025. But either way, mass outreach is just the beginning. It's the foundation for sure, but it's not everything. Because here's the truth. Not all leads are created equal. You don't want just any client, you want the right clients, the ones that are going to help you scale your agency. And that's why the next strategy is the Dream 100 strategy, and it's going to change the game for you. Dream 100 outreach is basically quality over quantity. So instead of blasting out emails to anyone with a pulse, you're going to zero in on your perfect clients and focus on building relationships with them. So here's what you need to do. First, look at your most successful past clients. What industries were they in? What size were their companies? What challenges did they face that your agency solved? Then go out and start identifying 100 ideal prospects that you'd love to work with. These are the clients that actually make you excited about working with them. You can use tools like LinkedIn Sales Navigator and Zoom Info to find companies that match your ideal client profile, or just scroll through public or paid groups in your industry. But don't stop there. Dig deeper. Look for signs that they're ready for what your agency offers and can actually benefit from your service. I know this might sound really obvious. Maybe they've just raised a round of funding or they're expanding into new markets. These types of triggers will tell you that a company is qualified and might be interested in whatever you sell. Once you've got your Dream 100 list, you're going to start building relationships. And I'm talking about engaging with their content on social media, sending them personalized insights based on their business, maybe even creating custom content just for them. But building your Dream 100 list is just the first step. The real magic happens when you combine this strategy with service-based free value. And that's what the next strategy is, service-based lead magnets. Now, I know what you're thinking, lead magnets, really? Isn't that just another fancy word for ebooks and PDFs? Well, no, those traditional lead magnets are dead. They don't build real trust or show off what you can do. They just collect digital dust on people's hard drives. In 2025, the only type of lead magnet that actually works is a service-based lead magnet, and this is where you actually do some work for a potential client up front. I'm talking about creating something of real value, like a custom email campaign or a personalized marketing strategy. You know, I know it sounds crazy to do work for free, but trust me, this is how you stand out in 2025. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how to set this up. And first, you need to figure out what kind of service you can offer. Maybe it's a custom audit or strategy, or even a mini version of your main service. Whatever it is, make it so good that they can't ignore it. Then you set up a system to deliver these lead magnets efficiently. Use project management software to track tasks. This way you can create high value, low effort service-based lead magnets without burning yourself out. And lastly, be ready to follow up for a long time. There's a good chance they won't see your first couple of messages, but because you have actual value to provide, you're allowed to follow up much longer than anyone who just sends out generic messages. This strategy works so well because of the psychological principle of reciprocity. When you provide value up front, people naturally want to return the favor. So by offering a sample of your work without asking for anything in return, you're building trust and making it way more likely that they'll want to work with you in the future. And when you combine this with the Dream 100 strategy, you're not just reaching out to any random company, you're creating custom, high-value work for the exact clients that you want to land. The next strategy I'm going to cover is similar to service-based lead magnets, and it's what we call the paid discovery process. And this is where you sell a digital roadmap to a client before trying to sign them to your recurring offer. This is the strategy I recommend to every single agency doing over 10 grand a month. And the reason I say you need to be over 10 grand a month is because this requires you to have some sort of leverage to make this work. If you have 0 clients, this might not work for you. So traditionally, agencies offer free strategy sessions or consultations to potential clients. But the problem with that approach is that it often attracts tire kickers who aren't serious about investing in your services. So instead, you need to offer a paid discovery workshop. And what this does is it immediately filters out clients who aren't serious about working with you. If they're willing to invest in a discovery session, they're more likely to be committed to the entire process. Second, it allows you to dig deep into your client's needs and create a tailored strategy instead of giving cookie cutter advice like everyone else. Lastly, don't pitch it to clients as a paid discovery call. Instead, sell them on the idea of receiving this deliverable, which you refer to as a digital roadmap. This roadmap that you provide to your clients acts as an intro offer into what it would be like to work with you, similar to the service-based lead magnets I mentioned earlier. If you want to learn more about how this works, go watch this video right now. So there's a chance that if you've got your Dream 100 list, you're creating killer service-based lead magnets or selling digital roadmaps, you still might not quite reach the level of authority you need. And that's where podcast guesting comes in. Podcasts allow you to demonstrate your expertise potentially to thousands of your ideal clients. Now, don't just go on any podcast. You need to find and pitch to go on the perfect podcast for your niche. First, make a similar list of the Dream 100 where you identify the podcasts that are the most watched and listened to and respected in your niche. Next, craft your pitch. And this is where most people mess up because they focus on themselves. Instead, reach out to the host with a focus on the value you can bring to the audience. And finally, on the podcast, make your main focus to deliver massive value to the audience while also subtly promoting your services. Now, if you don't have any big case studies to share, focus on providing actionable insights that the audience can use right away. When you do that, they'll naturally want to learn more about you and your services. After each podcast appearance, you should also send personalized follow-ups to everyone who reached out. Provide additional value, maybe a custom tip based on what they shared in their message. This approach will help you convert listeners into high-ticket clients time and time again. All right, so we've talked about leveraging podcasts to build your authority and land those high-ticket clients. The next strategy that you want to combine with it is SEO optimized YouTube videos. 70% of business decision makers are watching videos to stay informed and make purchasing decisions. This gives you a huge opportunity to build trust and nurture potential clients. The strategy that you want to use for your channel is quite simple. Create videos that solve real problems for your potential clients, and over time, you'll become the go-to expert in your niche. And to ensure your videos are actually seen by your ideal prospects, you can use tools like vidIQ to find the exact keywords and topics that are working right now in your industry. The final strategy I want to cover is one that I've personally used to generate tens of millions of dollars for my own business, and this is having an email list. I currently have an email list with about 42,000 people subscribed, and every week we're sending multiple extremely valuable emails to them. Now, I know what you're thinking, really, Uncle Troy? Email, isn't that old news? Well, hold on, because I'm about to show you why email is more powerful than ever for agencies in 2025. It's all about staying top of mind. The more your audience sees you showing up with actual value, the deeper that connection gets. They start to really know you, trust what you're saying, and believe in your expertise. And here's where it gets really powerful. You can double dip your content. Say I drop in your YouTube video, I can take those same ideas, package them into an email, and shoot it to my list with a link to the full video. Or flip it around. When I write an email that absolutely crushes it, bang, that's my next YouTube video right there. Think about it. You've really only got 3 ways to get eyeballs on your offer. You can create content and hope it gets seen. You can shell out money for ads, or you can build an email list that you actually own. And this is why email lists are a no-brainer. So those are my top 7 client acquisition strategies that are working right now in 2025. Of course, there are others that work, like paid ads, LinkedIn content, retargeting, partnerships, but all of these things should come after implementing the core 7. And if you don't have these 7 yet, you shouldn't even consider anything else. At Agency Mavericks, we coach digital agency owners on how to implement and optimize these 7 strategies, as well as countless others, so that they can scale and build a systemized cash flow business. So if you want step-by-step support, templates, and strategies to help you implement everything we've discussed in this video, video, then you can schedule a call to chat with someone on the team to see if we can help you. And the link will be the first one in the description. I'm Troy Dean. Let's get to work.